Ever noticed how people unconsciously treat certain individuals as if they're a cut above the rest? It's rooted in psychology. When someone sees another as the chosen one, whether for their unique strengths, their charisma, or their quiet power, their behaviors shift in fascinating ways. And for Sigma males, often perceived as the chosen ones of their social circles, these reactions reveal a lot about human nature. In today's video, we'll explore the 10 distinct behaviors people exhibit when they recognize a Sigma male as the chosen one, from hidden envy to attempted imitation. By the end, you'll not only spot these signs, but also understand the psychological reasons behind them. Sigma males have a mystique that sets them apart: self-assured, introspective, and highly autonomous. This aura often makes others see them as natural leaders or even chosen figures, though they don't seek attention or validation. In this video, we'll walk through 10 reactions people have when they realize they're in the presence of a Sigma male. Each point will dive into the psychology behind the behavior, giving examples and scenarios to make each reaction clear and relatable. Let's jump in. 1. Under the radar. Envy. When people observe a Sigma male's quiet success, it often stirs an undercurrent of envy that's both subtle and pervasive. Unlike overt jealousy, this passive envy hides beneath friendly chatter and seemingly well-meaning compliments, making it harder to identify. Picture a colleague who, while appearing to celebrate the Sigma's wins, feels a subtle sting of inadequacy. This envy doesn't manifest as direct rivalry, but emerges through subtle, almost indiscernible gestures. A faint hesitation in congratulatory words, or perhaps an offhanded comment that slightly downplays the Sigma's achievement. What fuels this envy is the Sigma's effortless approach to success. Sigmas move with a quiet confidence, valuing autonomy and independence, making it seem as though accomplishments simply follow them without struggle. Unlike the typical power player who seeks validation, the Sigma male's lack of showboating makes his success appear even more genuine. This triggers others to question their own efforts, wondering if they're missing some secret. The result? An unspoken envy that lingers in the background, adding an interesting, sometimes tension-filled dynamic to the Sigma's relationships, as admiration and resentment mingle beneath the surface. 2. Internalized competition. Sigma males carry a quiet magnetism that stirs up a unique kind of competition. Their calm confidence and self-sufficiency often create an unspoken comparison in the minds of those around them. Imagine a Sigma male at a party, relaxed and unbothered by social expectations, while others observe his demeanor and begin to wonder, why can't I be more like that? This type of rivalry is rarely expressed out loud. Instead, it becomes an inner motivation for self-improvement. This phenomenon is unique to Sigma males because their influence is passive rather than assertive. They don't demand attention or approval. They simply exist in a way that demonstrates self-reliance and integrity. Those who witness this quiet strength often interpret it as a silent challenge, pushing themselves to embody some of that same poise. In a world that often rewards loud displays of confidence, Sigma males inspire a more introspective kind of ambition, prompting others to question their own authenticity, values, and purpose. This self-reflection and drive to better themselves ultimately turns Sigma males into powerful, albeit unintentional, agents of growth in their social circles. 3. Calculated distance. The Sigma male's quiet confidence can often act as an unspoken boundary that both draws and deters people around him. Unlike loud, attention-seeking personalities, his strength comes from self-assurance and a calm demeanor, which creates an almost magnetic field of discomfort for some. This isn't because he's intimidating in a traditional sense, but because his clarity and directness hold up a mirror, reflecting back the insecurities and doubts others might prefer to keep hidden. Imagine a workplace where colleagues tend to avoid in-depth discussions with the Sigma male. It's not out of animosity, but a subtle instinct to sidestep potential vulnerability. His straightforward insights, unaffected by neediness or ego, can feel intensely honest, compelling others to confront aspects of themselves they may not fully understand or accept. Over time, this avoidance becomes a sort of protective shield, a way for people to remain in their comfort zones rather than risk the introspective challenge his presence invites. In this way, the Sigma male's confidence not only creates an aura of mystery, but also inadvertently draws boundaries, setting him apart without a single word. Number 4, testing boundaries. When people try to test a Sigma male's limits, they're often surprised by his reaction. Imagine someone throwing a subtle jab, hoping to stir up a defensive response, but instead they're met with a calm, unshaken demeanor. This kind of reaction says everything about his inner resilience. Unlike others who may react impulsively to prove their strength, a Sigma's response comes from a place of self-assuredness. His calmness isn't an attempt to impress, it's rooted in a secure sense of self. Psychologically, this is a form of social deflection, where the Sigma sidesteps the bait without engaging emotionally, which can be unsettling for the person who expected a reaction. They quickly realize he isn't easily influenced by others' opinions, and his strength isn't performative, it's real, cultivated through independence and introspection. This unyielding composure often serves as a silent yet powerful message. A Sigma doesn't need validation from anyone, making him both intriguing and unpredictable. It's this authenticity that separates him from the crowd, showcasing his strength not through words, but through steadfast, quiet resilience. Number 5. Attempted undermining sabotage against the Sigma male often emerges from a place of insecurity. Picture a coworker subtly dismissing his achievements with phrases like, "He just got lucky," or whispering about his past mistakes, hoping to cast shadows over his successes. This isn't just pettiness, it's a reaction driven by fear of his capabilities. Sigma males often succeed in quiet yet profound ways, carving a path without seeking validation or attention, which unnerves some who rely on approval and public praise. These subtle saboteurs sense that the Sigma's influence threatens their own standing, not because he competes openly, but because he embodies self-reliance and a quiet strength that's hard to ignore. Rather than face their own insecurities, they attempt to minimize his achievements, spreading rumors or casting doubt to divert attention back onto themselves. Ironically, these attempts only strengthen the Sigma male's mystique. By staying composed and undeterred, he demonstrates resilience, a quality that eventually exposes the insecurity and desperation behind others' attempts to bring him down. This reaction reveals more about the saboteurs than about the Sigma, highlighting his unique power to inspire change simply by being himself. Number 6. Overanalyzing his choices. The unique calm of a Sigma male often draws intense scrutiny. People tend to project their insecurities onto him, analyzing his every move, from career choices to relationships, hoping to spot a flaw. This behavior stems from a fascination with the Sigma's seemingly unshakable self-possession and independence. In a world where social approval often guides decision-making, the Sigma's ability to act without validation can be unsettling for others. For example, a Sigma may choose a career path that prioritizes freedom over financial prestige. To him, this choice aligns with his values and desire for autonomy, but others may interpret it as risky or dismissive of traditional success. Such reactions are less about the Sigma's choices and more about the observer's discomfort with unconventional paths. Psychologists often find that this kind of overanalysis is rooted in an observer's fear of their own inadequacies or missed opportunities. By focusing on the Sigma's decisions, critics may avoid confronting their own uncertainties. Ironically, this scrutiny reinforces the Sigma's quiet strength. He remains focused on his journey, unshaken by the judgments of others. This creates an aura of resilience that only makes his mystique more compelling. Number 7. Resentment lurks. The Sigma male's quiet confidence and self-assuredness often create an unsettling effect on those around him, particularly individuals who struggle with insecurity. Unlike the loud, overtly dominant alpha, the Sigma's strength comes from his ability to exist independently, unaffected by external validation. This can be jarring to those who seek constant approval or reassurance from others. When someone feels insecure in the presence of a Sigma, it's not just a fleeting moment of envy, it's a deep, subtle resentment. The Sigma's very existence forces others to confront their own vulnerabilities, making them uncomfortable in a way they might not even realize. It's as if the Sigma holds up a mirror to their own lack of self-assurance, amplifying their feelings of inadequacy. This isn't necessarily an overt hostility. Instead, It's a silent bitterness that simmers just beneath the surface. The Sigma male, by simply being himself, unknowingly triggers a reflection in others. His ability to be content and at peace with who he is, without seeking external approval, is something that many can't help but compare to their own insecurities. This dynamic gives the Sigma an invisible yet undeniable power. His mere presence acts as a catalyst for self-reflection in those around him. 8. Attempted imitation. The Sigma male's quiet confidence and self-assuredness often create an unsettling effect on those around him, particularly individuals who struggle with insecurity. Unlike the loud, overtly dominant alpha, the Sigma's strength comes from his ability to exist independently, unaffected by external validation. This can be jarring to those who seek constant approval or reassurance from others. When someone feels insecure in the presence of a Sigma, it's not just a fleeting moment of energy, it's a deep, subtle resentment. The Sigma's very existence forces others to confront their own vulnerabilities, making them uncomfortable in a way they might not even realize. It's as if the Sigma holds up a mirror to their own lack of self-assurance, amplifying their feelings of inadequacy. This isn't necessarily an overt hostility. Instead, it's a silent bitterness that simmers just beneath the surface. The Sigma male, by simply being himself, unknowingly triggers a reflection in others. His ability to be content and at peace with who he is, without seeking external approval, is something that many can't help but compare to their own insecurities. This dynamic gives the Sigma an invisible yet undeniable power. His mere presence acts as a catalyst for self-reflection in those around him. 9. Pretending not to notice. When people deliberately downplay the presence of a Sigma male, it often backfires in the most ironic way. Imagine a meeting where the Sigma quietly contributes an insightful idea, only to have someone ignore or dismiss it. This act of ignoring can create a subtle yet powerful reaction. In an attempt to diminish his influence, those around the Sigma might find themselves more intrigued by his quiet confidence and the subtle defiance he exudes. It's human nature to notice what is deliberately ignored or avoided. In fact, psychologists call this the negativity bias. People tend to pay more attention to what is being downplayed or suppressed, subconsciously elevating its significance. The Sigma male, by simply being himself, forces others to confront the truth of his value, without him even trying. His presence speaks volumes, not through boastful actions or attention-seeking behavior, but through the calm, unshakable aura of self-sufficiency. This only increases his magnetic pull, making him all the more fascinating to those who initially sought to ignore him. In the end, their attempt to make him invisible only adds to the enigmatic power that surrounds him. The Sigma's silence becomes his loudest statement. 10. Seeking validation through him. The Sigma male's presence is often magnetic, drawing people in without him even trying. His chosen one energy exudes quiet confidence, independence, and a sense of autonomy that others find compelling. For some, gaining the Sigma's approval feels like receiving a badge of honor, a silent acknowledgement that they've earned his respect. This need for validation often comes from those who may not fully understand the depth of his character, but seek it nonetheless, assuming that approval from such an enigmatic figure equates to validation of their own worth. Imagine someone constantly running their ideas past a Sigma male, hoping for a positive response, or seeking his feedback as though it could elevate their own self-esteem. In truth, the Sigma male's approval isn't easily earned. It's a rare commodity that only those who truly understand him or prove their own strength can garner. His respect doesn't come from empty flattery or pandering, but from an inherent recognition of authenticity and capability. When someone is graced with his nod of approval, it often feels like a stamp of success, but this is less about the individual's need for praise and more about the Sigma's understated power in recognizing potential in others. Conclusion. People instinctively react in fascinating ways when they sense someone with a unique strength and autonomy, like a Sigma male. Whether it's through envy, imitation, or passive resistance, these behaviors reveal the deep impact of a Sigma's presence. Recognizing these responses can give insight into the social dynamics around you, helping you understand how people unconsciously acknowledge strength and self-assurance. If you found these points relatable or noticed them around you, like this video, share it, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the Sigma experience.